Between the Trump and Biden administrations, what kind of visas are being impacted? Welcome to Voice of Immigration. I'm your host, John V. Lee, attorney at law and CEO of Online Visas, the intelligent immigration platform. Okay, Biden will be the next president, but Trump will be in office until January 20th, 2021. So what can we do in immigration in the meantime? So here are a few visas that aren't impacted for the filing if in the United States on either an extension of stay or a change of status. That means you're on a visa already and you want to file this type of visa again or this type of visa from another visa. These include the O1 visa for extraordinary ability. That's across a number of different professions. The P1 for both athletes and entertainers, the L1 for intercompany transferees and their essential employees, the E1 and E2, treaty traders and treaty investors and their employees, the TN for professionals from Mexico or Canada, the B1, B2 visitors, the F1 and M1 students and their OPT and CPT applications, are visas for religious workers. Green cards for family-based and all employment-based green cards can be filed with their adjustment of status if those people are also in the United States. Okay, so that's the type that isn't impacted right now. So that's a really large number, okay? Now, here are the problems if you're outside the United States. So the H-1B, the H-2B, the L-1, and the J visas have all been halted under a presidential proclamation until December 31st, 2020. Now that proclamation was enjoined by a federal court, in particular the Northern District of California under Judge White. But what we've learned is U.S. consulates are inconsistently implementing it, meaning that some of them are acting like there isn't an injunction. Now there has been talks between the Department of State and one of the plaintiffs, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, but those talks have broken down, so we're getting inconsistent decisions on people trying to apply for those visas and come in. Further, all visas from the UK, Ireland, and the Schengen region, and that is 26 countries of Europe, that's almost all of them, it's the big ones. Also, China, Brazil, and Iran are banned from having people from those countries or people that are in those countries to come in if they've been in those countries or have traveled in those countries in the last 2 weeks. Now, they can get national interest waivers, and those national interest waivers are kind of inconsistently given. But what we've seen is that they're very, very difficult to get if it's a family member of the person that got that visa, and not a lot of people like to come without their family. So those are some difficulties. Now, these bans and the presidential proclamation are both slated to expire on the last day of December, and many consulates are scheduling interviews right after the new year. But not all of them. Many of them, because of COVID-19, are still dealing with skeleton crews and long delays, even if they are open. Green cards, other than those for marrying an American citizen and investors under the EB-5, are banned from getting the consular processing outside the country, meaning you can file any of the green cards inside the United States through the I-140 or I-130 and the package of materials that go around that. However, if you're in the United States, as we said, you can do the adjustment of status from another visa without issue. But if you're outside the United States and you need to do consular processing, those bans are in place. Now, those will also expire at the end of the year. So the most difficult thing is getting through the consulates now, either for a non-immigrant visa or for an immigrant visa, also known as a green card. However, there are national interest exemptions for those banned countries and the H-1B and others if you obtain that higher standard. Now, the visas that are having the most troubles right now, well, it's the H-1B. The new USCIS regulations severely altered the H-1B. What I mean by the regulations is USCIS came out with regulations after the presidential proclamation that attempted the H-1B was enjoined. So that is another level that is harder to throw out. But that was it's still in play. And it's supposed to go into effect on December 7th. All right, in addition to USCIS's impact on the H-1B, which would sever about a third of the professional occupations. It is devastating, and it's really devastating in the tech field. All right. Now, in addition to that devastation that will go into effect on December 7th, is that the Department of Labor has hiked fees for H-1Bs and others actually by about 50%. Now, that hiking of those fees to 50% it makes people unhireable. So there are numerous jobs that for starting right out of college, entry-level jobs, is over $100,000 or in some instances $200,000. Now, that wasn't designed to help foreign laborers make more money. It was designed to make them impossible to hire. So that's the scenario right then. So we don't think the Biden administration will continue on with that. And we also know that these regulations are under fire by district courts. 3 of them right now, to be in fact, the same judge that threw out the presidential proclamation on the H-1B has been assigned the USCIS regulations on the H-1B. And the reason he threw out the presidential proclamation is because the administration attempted to use what's called the interim final rule. And that circumvents the process of about 6 months of giving notice and comment. And you have to have a really high standard in which to do that. The judge didn't feel that they had it, and the USCIS has attempted to use that same structure. So we can imagine that the judge will likely throw that one out for the same reason. The hiked DOL wages for the H-1B are in place, and they're already chilling the filing of H-1B visas. A workaround by some has been to use private prevailing wage surveys that have been certified by the Department of Labor in labor condition applications, the first step. Now, there's no guarantee this will work in all the cases, and it requires the risk of an upfront cost. Now, that's usually numerous hundreds of dollars to get this private survey, and then you have to put it into the LCA and hope at that time they certify it. And while we've seen that they have, there is no guarantee that they will continue to. So all of these visas are still available to file if they're in the United States, and there are challenges to some degree if they're outside the United States, and there are even more challenges for the H-1B in both wages and its job outside the United States. However, those are under attack by the courts, and it looks likely that they will find the same dustbin that the presidential proclamation has found by those courts. If you want to stay up to speed on the ever-changing world of immigration, subscribe to Online Visa's YouTube channel. Please click like and share and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Quora, and Instagram. I'm John Veely, CEO of Online Visas, the intelligent immigration platform where we deliver dreams.